What's up, Yup gang? It's your boy Taxon and welcome back to Yup TCG Things, and today we're going to be diving into one of the brand new decks from bt24 Beyond Generations. That's my Bulma Vegeta. This is my first iteration of the deck. I don't think it's anything super competitive, nor do I think that this deck is anything that can be a super meta contender anyways, but I did want to give you my list in order to help you guys gain some inspiration on a deck that you guys may be interested in. With that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this list. If you guys ever want any custom mats and or sleeves, absolutely check out Promats, guys. This is the best place to go get any custom card needs, and if you guys do decide to get a mat for them, make sure you use the promo code YUP to save on your entire order. With that being said, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, always remember to smash all those buttons for us, like, comment, subscribe. We are on our way to 2,000 subscribers, and once we get there, we are doing a big giveaway, so every subscription helps. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let's turn it around and dive in. Alrighty, here's the deck. Now let's go ahead and go over it. Starting with the leader, we have auto once per turn. When you use one of your Saiyan or Earthling cards in a combo, you get to draw one card. Activate main once per turn. Place one red Saiyan from your Z energy underneath concentrated Saiyan power in your battle area. Draw one card and then discard one card from your hand. Awaken when your life's at 4 or less, or if you have 6 or less life and you have a Bulma in your drop area, draw 2 cards and flip over. Auto, if you have a red Z unison with an original power of 20,000 or more in play. When this card attacks, you get an extra 5k and critical for the battle. Auto, when you use one of your red Saiyan or Earthling cards in a combo, you get to draw one card, and then activate main once per turn. Place a Saiyan from your Z energy underneath concentrated Saiyan power in your battle area, draw one card, and then discard one card from your hand. So essentially, all the skills on the front and the back are exactly the same. The only difference is you gain 5k and critical when you get your Z unison out. So with that being said, the Z Unison seems pretty important to the deck, so we'll go ahead and start off with the Z deck. Concentrated Saiyan Power, this is the card that the Activate Main is asking for. Activate Main once per turn for 2 red energy. If you have 4 or more energy and you choose one of your Son Gohan, Adolescent, Son Goten, Vegeta, Trunks, and a Videl card, all from underneath this card, you can play a Son Goku SSG Crimson Guardian Deity from your Z deck with 5 markers on it, and then place all those cards underneath it. So your leader effect is what's going to be helping you get towards the 5 cards that will help you summon your god. This is your god. This is SSG Son Goku Crimson Deity. Double Strike Barrier. When a player attacks, you may use one battle card from underneath this card in a combo. If you do so, negate this skill for the turn. So it's like one of those instances where you can keep attacking until they don't negate, and then when they don't negate, you can use it. Or when they're attacking, you can choose when to use a 5k and or 10k, we'll get to that, if it's a threat that you want to get out of. Activate main -1, switch this card to active, choose one of your opponent's battle cards. Ignoring barrier, it gets negative 25,000 power for the turn. So it's essentially 20 dual attack, double strike, that's getting rid of something, ignoring barrier. Or if you choose not to use that effect, you can go ahead and go into the second one, -2. Choose all of your opponent's battle cards and unisons, they get negative 25,000 power for the turn. Choose one of your leaders and it gets 5k to the end of your opponent's next turn. So essentially this is a board wipe and a bean, so that's more of your defensive option. The other one's more of your aggressive option. So go ahead and keep moving on from that. We have another Z extra, 10 times Kamehameha Mighty Blast. You'll probably only do this once a game, so afterwards you can play this out if you really need to, more than likely. I haven't played a game where I've actually needed to play this out yet, so it's just in here to be in here. Good card, 15k, 10k boost, yada yada. We have SS4 Son Goku, Defender of Life. He's essentially just in here for burn damage. We have 2 copies of Rush Attack SSB Vegeta, dual attack barrier, double striker dude, pretty good. And then 1 copy of SSB Vegeta surmounting the possible to help us get down to 6 life if we need to use that type of awakening ability. So that's the Z deck. We'll move it off over here. Diving into the main deck now, starting off with the Bulmas, because the Bulmas are more than likely our turn 1 play. We have 3 and 3 of each of these. Bulma Party Hostess and then Bulma Party Holder. Both of them have the same effect, that if they are in your Z energy, you can choose a Saiyan from your drop, Z charge it, and then place this from your Z energy into your drop. And then they both have an on-play skill. This one, top 5 searches for a Earthling or a Sand with an energy cost of 4 or less. This one just draws a card. These are both useful for helping cycle the correct cards into your Z energy for your leader effect, so you can load this card with the right names. These are both also useful to help get your leader to that secondary awaken condition, which is useful but not useful at the same time. So we'll keep moving on from that. Starting off with our Saiyan package, we have 2 Vegeta Mediator, 2 Vegeta Equalizer, and then 4 Vegeta Charging Rage. So starting off with Mediator, 20k deflect, activate main limit 1 if your leader is red, Vegeta or a Bulma card and your opponent has 2 or more energy, you can play this card from your hand. So this is essentially just always a turn 2 card no matter what. It's turn 2 if you go second, turn 3 if you go first. When this card attacks, you get to place 1 red sand from your Z energy underneath concentrated power, and then you get the top 5 search for a 4-coster less sand with an sand or Earthling. So this is good to help load this a little bit faster. A lot of the times, you're not doing this until turn 4. You're always doing this on turn 4. So a lot of the times I've noticed I always feel like I'm doing it too slow, but in reality, you really only need to use a battle card to load this one time. Otherwise, your leader is going to do all of the other loads, because you do 1 on turn 2, 2 on turn 2, the third one on turn 3, and then from there on out you can do one of these guys on turn 3 as well, and then on turn 4 you just use your leader effect again and then you drop it. So in reality you really only need to drop a card that loads this once. So anyways, when this card attacks, he's searching pretty good. It's when he attacks too, so if your opponent doesn't get rid of it, he just becomes a constant searcher, which is nice. And he's 20k, so if your opponent's trying to get rid of him by attacking into it, your combo effects make it easier to defend him, because going to 25 is free for you. Dual attack, this guy, Vegeta Equalizer, dual attack. This is the only one that actually takes a life, so this is like your self-awakener. Activate main limit 1 if your leader is red, Vegeta, or Bulma, and you have 2 or more energy. Play this card from your hand and add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. Auto, when this card attacks, you get to choose a Saiyan from your Z energy, place underneath concentrated power. This card is really not great. The only reason I keep it in the deck is for self-awakening purposes, but the more that I've played the deck, the more I've realized I honestly might take this out for the Trunks Youth Double Striker Self-Awakener from, what's that was that? Set 16 or something like that. Either way, moving on from that guy. He loads 2, which is nice if you're ever in a situation where you failed to get this out until like turn 3. So like if you're rushing, loading 2 is nice, but more than likely you almost never need to do that. Moving on to SS2 Vegeta Charging Rage, we have 6-drop 20k Double Striker. Auto, limit 1 if your leader is a red Vegeta or a Bulma card and you have 3 or more energy. When one of your red Earthling cards is removed from the battle area by a skill, you get to draw 1 card, play this card from your hand, and then choose 1 red Saiyan from your Z energy and place it underneath concentrated power in your battle area. You also now have an activate battle. Once per turn, you get to use 1 mono red card with 5k combo from your drop in a combo with its skills negated for the turn, which is nice, which just means that the longer that this card sticks around, the longer that your leader's draws become free, which is nice for you. Not much to say there. Essentially a 25 Double Striker, pretty good. He also, a lot of the times, he also ends up being the card that will load this. Moving on from that, we have 4 Trunks joining the party. Auto, when this card attacks, you get to use a red Saiyan or Earthling from your drop in a combo with his skills negated, and then after the battle you get to Z-charge this. Reason that skill is good is because it does trigger this guy's effect. So pretty decent. He will swing, he will get a Z-charge himself, he also will Z-charge himself, and then this card will play, which will allow you to then Z-charge this, or the card that it attacked with, or that it comboed with, and then you can use your leader effect to Z-charge the other one, or not Z-charge, to load this. So it's pretty nice. This loads this guy, and then your leader can load whatever he comboed. Pretty good card. He also plays for 1, so he becomes a way just to help keep Z energy flowing, because a lot of the times you're just cycling your Z energy directly underneath this really fast, so you never actually have Z energy when you need it. So he does help for 1 energy load to Z energy. Pretty nice. Moving on from that, like I said, I would to add. Also, he is our only Trunks in the deck. So to add numbers of Trunks, that's why I was thinking probably better to change the Vegeta equalizer to that double striker Trunks the Youth, because then now you have 6 total of him, and then you'll still have 6 Vegetas as well. Moving on from that, Son Goten joining the party. When this guy attacks, he draws 1 card, and at the end of the battle, he will Z-charge himself. He's essentially this guy, except for he's replacing himself. So you play him out for 1. You get he draws a card. You swing. You're probably gonna combo something from your hand to trigger your leader. He goes for 20. You'll Z-charge what you comboed, and then at the end of the battle, he'll Z-charge. He also another way to trigger this, which is nice. We want as many cards as we can that can trigger this, because otherwise, the only way this card's coming out is if your opponent removes your cards. Next up, we have 4 copies of Goten Hyperspeed. It's just a 1 energy double striker. It's also a way for me to keep numbers on my Gotens high. Honestly, this could be a 3/3 if you really wanted to, but I just like this card because a lot of the times I don't ever play this for its like draw card effect. So I'm playing this guy just for pressure, just because I'd rather have the pressure. And he draws as well. So draw card, double striker is just a lot better than a Z energy draw card. Anyways, at the end of the day, they're both just Goten names so that we can load this with the correct names. Moving on from that, we have 3 copies of Son Gohan, Good Father. This feels like a mistake on my end. I really think that this should be 4. I think I need to find room for a 4th of this. I think when we get to it, I'll cut one of the Gotenks cards in the deck for a 4th of this, just because I think that this card is extremely good when it comes to being like one of the only ways for this deck to have removal. So this card's absolutely necessary. Also, he Z-charges himself after battle, so triggering that card is really nice. Let me explain them to you guys really quickly. If you have 3 or more energy, you can pay 1 red to play him out. And then auto, if you have a place 1 Videl or Saiyan card from your Z energy underneath your concentrated Saiyan power. And then when this card attacks, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets negative 20,000 power. And at the end of the battle, he Z-charges himself. So essentially, it's a 1 energy 25k attack that negs something for 20, and then charges a Z energy, and it helps create Vegeta as well. So pretty good, if I do say so myself. I really think I should have the 4th of this. I think that's player error in my end. Like I said in the beginning of this video, this is my very first iteration of the deck. Obviously, there is a lot of improvements that I think I can make. Like I said, I do think that this is not the right Self-Awakener for the deck. I think that we need to add 2 more copies of Trunks, so they're running an even 6 split of all the names going through. Anyways, moving on from that, another reason that having a 4th Gohan would be great, because then I'd have the 4th Gohan as well, keeping my 6 names even all the way through. Either way, Gohan, he's pretty easy to set up in this deck. This card is in your battle area, so that 1 Z energy does help add towards the reduction cost of this guy. So you, of course, if you have this out, he is a 3 cost. If you charge a Z energy with your leader effect, he's a 2 cost. If you, like for instance, play him and have this out, that's going to be 3 total, so then he's 1. So, because he will Z-charge something that he attacked with, he Z-charges himself, and then this card is a Z cost as well. So that'd be 3 total cost reductions, making him a 1. There's a bunch of ways to make him pretty cheap in this deck. That's why he's pretty good in the deck. Essentially, counterplay for 1, blocker, double striker, neg something by 20. Pretty good card. Moving on from that, we're moving into our super combos. There's literally only 1 option for super combos in this deck, and if you choose to run around it, you're absolutely wrong. Videl, New Life. It is a little hard to keep her thing live because you want to keep loading this, but you just have to remind yourself to not drop below 2 Z energy if you want to keep this live. So if you're ever in a situation where you're at like exactly 2 Z energy and you want to use your leader effect before you pass turn, but you also have a super combo in hand, just hold on the leader effect, and then you will not lose access to your super combo. So essentially, the super combo is live no matter what life requirement you're at, as long as you have 2 or more Z energy. So this card is really good in this deck because you can set it up extremely fast. Like I said, one of the coolest parts about this Trunks and or this Goten here is that they both create 2 Z energy and for like by themselves for 1. So Z energy, not a problem in this deck. You just gotta know how to manage it correctly. Also, this Videl is a good card to Z charge at some point early in the game, because then you can use your not your leader. Actually, yeah, because this card does have a permanent where it gains Saiyan in all areas. So you can Z charge this and then use your leader effect to load it underneath the concentrated sand power, and then when you or your opponent's attacking and it's underneath this on turn 4 or further, you can combo it out for free, having a free 10k. It doesn't get to draw because this does combo with the card skill negated, but this will come out for a 10k, which is nice because on this card's first attack, it can either go for 30 double strike, or during one of your opponent's more lethal attacks, you can combo, you can go auto, combo, go to 25, trigger leader, you draw a card, and then you still haven't even got to your opponent's combo step yet. So then that makes it harder for your opponent want to commit to that attack and that attack's damage. Anyways, pretty good. I really do like I like the Videl in this deck. It really makes it work really nicely. Moving on to the Videl counterplay. This card really is in the deck just to add 2 more copies of a Videl name, just so that we can guarantee get to this on turn 4. But in all honesty, you hardly play this card, and if you do, you're knocking a marker off your unison, which really sucks because the card only has minuses. So like, it plays out for 5. You're either going to use a -1 or -2 on the turn it's played, which means you're going to 4 or 3, which means on the following turn, on your opponent's following turn, if you want to do this, you're going down to 2, which makes it fairly easy to kill this card. But either way, card's really good. Moving on for her, she's just a choose 2 cards, Spirit Boost 1, choose 2 cards, negative by 20. Moving on from her, we have 4 of the Gotenks Party Fusions. I really do believe that this card needs to be the 4th Gohan here. That way we're running 4-2, 4-2, 4-2, 4, and then like I said, this should be here, so we'll go 4-2, and we'll have 4-2 of the Vegetas. So that, in my opinion, that's the correct ratios there. But anyways, coming out here with this Gotenks Party Fusion, he plays out for 1 on turn 3 or further. The turn he's played, you get to choose a Saiyan in your Z energy, place underneath concentrated power, you draw a card, and then he's a 25k critical attack for the turn. So it is decent. It's a 1 energy crit that's going to essentially replace itself and load 1 underneath this. But a lot of the times on like turn 3 or further, having to make plays like this removal here is a lot more important. So it's a good card and all, don't get me wrong. I just think it'd be better at a 2, adding that to a 4. So moving on, that's our entire birthday party package. This is my Saiyans that help me create my God Goku. Moving on from that, we'll have a couple just generic red stuff and just things that will help make the deck function. We have 4 Exploding Dance. This card becomes live extremely fast. A lot of the times I do whiff on the Bulma in the drop area for some reason. So there is multiple occasions where you'll be awakening at 4 or less life. So this card is alive basically when you awaken anyways. And then you're dropping this more than likely on turn 2, or like if you're dropping this later than turn 2, you're probably playing the deck wrong. But turn 2, this guy comes out, and then this card becomes live on turn 2 if you're at 4 or less already. But you're probably not going to be. But this being out early just makes this card live quicker. So not bad in the deck. Not bad in the deck. Running that at 4 of because we just need a floodgate. We have 2 Testing the Opposition. Free negate. This also helps get us here, which is nice. We're running 2 Imposing Presence. This could be Wolfang. I think if I hardly ever actually cast this card for the floodgate effect, I really just use this for the 10k snipe. So in that instance, I think especially since we're playing a Unison, I think that I'd rather just make this Wolfang, because a lot of the times when I'm using it, like I said, I'm just using it for the snipe 10k anyways. Moving on from that, we have the 1 of Flight of the Grand Eagle. This card's great. Just a 1 energy plus 100,000 just makes it really hard for your opponent to push through, right? So with that being said, those are our extra cards. We'll move on to our final 4 cards. Try to keep some room. Let me just move the extra cards out of the way. So final few cards, we have 2 Broly Crown of Retribution. This card could be whatever you want it to be. I just chose to make it this because people pass with energy up nowadays. You do have to be some type of defensive in nowadays meta, so if I catch someone slipping, or if I catch a blue deck beaning and getting 2 energy up, I will drop that immediately and see what I can't take. Moving on from that, we have our Overwhelm, and then moving on from that, we have our other Overwhelm. This card's absolutely crazy, steals games, honestly, and the way this deck plays out is that you're dropping this for 2 on turn 4. He comes out for 5 markers. A lot of the times you'll swing you get your damage off. You also get to see exactly how your opponent's going to react to this, whether they have the defense to stop another attack of it or not. If from there you get to choose whether to use your +5 here or your minus. So you use your -2, right? Let's say, for instance, you want to board wipe and then yada yada. So you use your -2, you'll bean your leader. Your leader now becomes a 20k. You can go ahead and overwhelm this guy out. You swoop a card from your opponent's hand, and then you get to swing for 40, which most of the time when you do this, you're just taking a card and then taking in a gate. And then from there, you swing with your leader. He already has the 5k from this and then 10k from this. He then gains another 5k when he attacks and critical because we have our Z units sent out. So then he will be a 10k and then 10k. He's a 35k critical attacker, which is extremely powerful. But yeah, with that being said, guys, that's the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed this list. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I don't think that this deck's extremely meta. I don't think this is meta friendly at all. I think that the moment you come across blue and they drop a peel off Shumai on you on turn 1, you're gonna really have a hard time because you're not going to be able to get rid of it until turn 3 because this is really our only removal card unless we manage to get to this. But yeah, definitely a really fun deck, and Vegeta's one of my favorite characters, so I definitely had to dabble in it a little bit. That's my Bulma. Definitely should have had way more spec on its archetype in my opinion, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this list. Remember, we're on our way to 2,000 subscribers, so every subscription helps us get to that big giveaway. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll catch you guys in the next video.